Welcome back, squad, to another video on cryptocurrencies, and today we're going to talk about a Bitcoin whale who has transferred their entire balance of 66,000 plus Bitcoin just about an hour and a half ago. Now, it's important to note that this wallet, this Bitcoin wallet, has been inactive since 2014, but today, as of the recent price drop, they've transferred it all out. So let's break that down. Alright guys, so let's start our journey off at CoinMarketCap. So as you probably already know, Bitcoin as of the last 3 or 4 days was at about 4,100 or about 4,300 USD, and it has dropped back down to just about 3,900 USD. Now, if we look at the behavior over the last 7 days, it seems to increase and then drop off, increase and drop off. It can't really make up its mind. It's a tough bear market, right? And it looks like the whale just had enough of this price fluctuation and transferred the Bitcoin out. Now, is it an over-the-counter trade, or is it a trade to an exchange? Let's take a look at that. But first, let's talk about some special factors about the transfer. So the fees for the transfer were $50, or just less than $50, for about $257 million of Bitcoin. Now, where can you transfer $257 million for $43? Nowhere. That's a pretty fantastic rate for moving that amount of money. Now, if we look at the transaction itself, the original transaction, we can just go back and take a look at where its most recent activity was for such a large amount. And if we go all the way back through the dates, we can see there's transfers for 500 Bitcoin back in 2014. We'll scroll up to the most recent one. The most recent transaction was 329 Bitcoin as of 2014, November 15th. Okay, so all the other transactions here are very minuscule amounts from other companies just trying it out to see that it's, you know, active, functional, and there. So BTC100x.com and JUBitcoin.com and a whole bunch of different other sites just testing it out. So if we look at the original transaction here for the 66,000 Bitcoin, what's really interesting about this is that they were using SegWit for the transaction to privatize the transfer, because they don't want anybody to know where it's going. All right, which makes sense. I mean, if it were you sending $257 million, you'd kind of want to disguise that factor as well. But it is still interesting to see here in the original transaction. I will link this original transaction in the description of the video if you want to check it out yourself. So this way you're not copying the address manually into your block explorer. And I will also have this original article in the description of the video as well. Now, what could be the outcome? What could this mean for Bitcoin, right? Was this transferred over the counter, or was this sent to an exchange? Well, not much is known for certain, but we can talk about what each option will mean. So if it's an over-the-counter trade, then we're safe in terms of the secondary market, which would be the volume on exchanges. So crypto on exchanges, the price shouldn't really fluctuate too much if it is an over-the-counter trade. Now, what that means is if it's peer-to-peer, if I were to sell 66,000 Bitcoin to my Uncle Bob, you'd probably want to be my Uncle Bob. No, but you know what I mean, right? It's not going to fluctuate the price because it's a peer-to-peer transfer. Now, when you go through the exchange, you will substantially drop the price if you were to sell that very large amount of Bitcoin. But on top of that, the exchange also gets a cut and a portion of that massive amount of volume. And if you have that amount of Bitcoin, it is not feasible to sell it that way and maneuver the price downwards. It's just not feasible, it's not profitable, it's not efficient. But of course, the possibility is always there if you did want to manipulate the price. So again, not much is certain in regards to this transaction, but if it were sent to an exchange and sold, it would manipulate the price down to about the $3,000 mark. Okay, so let's keep that in mind if you do see Bitcoin at a $3,000 mark in the near term. I don't think it's going to happen. I do think this was an over-the-counter trade, but again, this could go any which way, and I definitely wanted to notify you guys of this transaction as soon as I found out, which happened to be about an hour and a half after the original transaction. So I'm going to try to keep this video short so that I can upload it and get the information out to you guys as soon as possible. And I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this is going to manipulate the price in a downward fashion, or is this just an over-the-counter trade and it's not going to affect the price of Bitcoin? Let me know in the comments below. Your opinions are always appreciated. And if you appreciated this content, please leave a like on the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, stay regular.